Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dylan Brody's Story Corner. Tonight I'd like to tell you a story about my dogs. I live in Sylmar. It's not a crap neighborhood, but it is crap neighborhood adjacent. I live in a townhouse with Sir Corwin, the beautiful dog-faced dog, brindled beast of Sylmar, Lord Buckley Sweetlips, greatest of all Danemutts, the dinosaur-slaying dog, and my wife, whose name escapes me at the moment. Within our townhouse complex, there's no actual grass, so we walk our dogs out in the neighborhood beyond the complex where our neighbors have actual houses with actual lawns. And both of the dogs prefer one particular well, they prefer the poopy lawn, which I suppose is why it's called that. Recently, somebody bought the house behind the poopy lawn. I had Lord Buckley with me, and as always, he went to his favorite lawn. And the man, who has moved into the house, stepped out and he saw me with the dog. He said, "That's my lawn." Now, I do not like the passive-aggressive guess my intention game. So I said, "This is my dog." He repeated, "That's my lawn." I reasserted my ownership. "This is my dog." He said, "That's my lawn." I considered telling him again that I owned the dog, but I was beginning to fear that he might think that I was mentally challenged, and that wasn't really what I wanted, so I took a different tack. And before I go any further, let me just say, tack is the correct word. If you've been saying take a different tact, people like me have been judging you harshly. And by people like me, I mean Suzanne Huang. I'm an incredible grammar dork. My wife pointed out that I'll correct people on the difference between nauseous and nauseated. That means I'll not only correct your grammar, I'll do it when you're at your most vulnerable. In any case, rather than reasserting ownership of the dog, I went a different way. I said, "I'm sorry, I don't speak English." The man said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, I don't speak any English at all." He said, "We're speaking English right now." I said, "I know this can be confusing. I've learned several words phonetically, and I'm told I have a pretty good ear for accents. It creates the illusion that I'm conversant, fluent even. But the fact of the matter is, I have no idea what either of us has been saying throughout this entire exchange." While I was saying this, Lord Buckley Sweetlips, greatest of all Danemutts, the dinosaur-slaying dog, hunched up like a tiny kangaroo and relieved himself on the man's lawn. I know it was his lawn. He had told me so. I bent down and collected the droppings in a bag. I moved toward him, holding up the tied-off plastic bag, and said, "If you want this, I won't have it bronzed." He looked baffled by this offer. He pointed off to the trash cans, and I said, "I'll just put this in the trash over here, then." As I walked away, he pointed an accusing finger at me, and he said, "I knew you spoke English! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!" I matched his tone, pointed back at him, and I listed English words that should be Yiddish but aren't. Hasselfassen, spatula kitchen, Moisenfeld, Moisenfeld, Moisenfeld! Threw out the poop and walked on home. Later in the afternoon, Sir Corwin, the beautiful dog-faced dog, brindled beast of Sylmar, demanded his walk. I took him out, and he went straight to his favorite lawn. The man emerged from his house, seeing a different dog, and then realized I was the same dog owner. He stopped in his tracks. I pointed to Sir Corwin, grinned at the man as if we were now old friends, and said, "That's my dog." He looked horrified and said, "You're a retard," and went back inside. As it turns out, that's exactly what I wanted him to think. But that's not the story about the dogs I wanted to tell you tonight. Unfortunately, we're out of time.